Hey everyone, welcome to Tathastu-ICS. I hope you all are doing good. Well, today we are going to talk about Bhartiya Nyaya Sanhita Bill 2023, and this is the topic which we have already discussed in our previous video. I request you, if you haven't watched it, I ask the team to drop the link in the description box, and before watching this video, if you watch that video, you will be able to connect with the topic quite easily. Okay, so this is the bill. These are the three bills. By now, I hope you all know that three bills, which are CRPC, Indian Penal Code, and the Indian Evidence Act of 1872, they are going to be replaced by three new bills. And broadly, the reason to replace these bills is to shed off the colonial legacy, to shed off the weight of the Britishers, which are over us. And we also talked about the implications of introducing these three bills, and if they become acts, what are the what could be their consequences, positive impacts over the society, over the Indian society. Okay, so let us discuss about these things, why this thing is in news, why are we again discussing this? Because the Bhartiya Nyaya Sanhita Bill, the proposed replacement for the Indian Penal Code, does not contain IPC section 377. Now, what is IPC section 377? I hope you all know it. Section 377 is something for which, against which the whole LGBT community has been fighting for last so many years. Even the new series, which is now live on Geo Cinema, where Shushmita Sen played a character, and the name of the series is Tali. They also discussed about all these things, and there's a reference of Nitesh Singh Johar case and everything. If you have time, you can watch it, only and only if you have time. So this is the case that in this new proposed bill, which is going to become an act, hopefully it is going to become an act, because the party which has proposed it, Bharatiya Janata Party, has numbers in the house, and if it becomes act, there are few things it could be having consequences over the males, over the people from the male community, and we'll discuss about it, how it is going to impact them. But let's have a look on the background of Indian Penal Code. Let's discuss something about this. Indian Penal Code was drafted by the first Law Commission, which was chaired by Thomas Babington Macaulay in 1834. Don't get confused by the word Babington. This is the same Thomas Macaulay which you have been reading in your spectrums. And the code came into force in January 1860. So from January 1860 till now, we are reaping the benefits, or we are following all the laws which have been proposed by the Britishers back in 1860. And the world has changed so much. There is artificial intelligence, there is machine learning, there is cryptocurrency. So in the house also, Honorable Home Minister of India said, Mr. Amit Shah said, that this is going to deliver justice in a better, in a smooth way, by changing all these things, and will shed the legacy of colonial times. Okay, so the bill aims to repeal and replace IPC. The bill was introduced in the Lok Sabha, and it has now been referred to the standing committee. Now, this is the standard procedure which the opposition has been complaining for last few months and few years, that the current regime is not following the standard procedure. And the standard procedure is that the bill gets proposed in one house, it has been sent after some discussion, it is being sent to the standing committee. The standing committee gives some suggestions to the house, and it's up to the center, it's up to the state union government, that whether they want to accept it or not. It's not a compulsion that they have to accept it, but generally it has been seen that if there is some serious recommendation sent by the standing committee, it has been easily accepted. It has been accepted. Okay, so when the bill will get its recommendation, when the standing committee will give its recommendation, and the bill reaches again to the Lok Sabha house, it gets passed, then it goes to the second house, and from there, with the president assent, the bill becomes an act. So this is the whole procedure. The BNS bill proposes several changes into the existing provision. While the IPC was containing 111 provisions, this new BNS bill, Bhartiya Nyaya Sanhita Bill, is going to have 356 provisions. Okay, so little factual information which might help you in your prelims examination. Now we are going to talk something about section 377 and Navtej Singh Johar case, which is one of the landmark cases for this LGBTQ community. So we'll discuss about this. Then we'll discuss how this removal of section 377 is going to impact, or it could impact, the male community of Indian society. Okay, so what is section 377? And this is the writing, this is the legal writing. I'm going to read it deliberately. I'm going to read it because you'll have a sense of it by your own. Section 377 of IPC states, whoever voluntarily has carnal intercourse against the order of nature So these are some important keywords. So this is the important keyword why the people LGBT community is against these things, because it has been considered something which is against the nature. Okay, so whoever voluntarily has carnal intercourse against the order of nature with any man, woman, or animal shall be punished with imprisonment of life or with imprisonment of either description for a term which may be extended to 10 years and shall also be liable to fine. So there could be life imprisonment, there could be a punishment up to 10 years, and there would be a fine also. For what? For having a sexual intercourse or a carnal intercourse where it is considered against the nature. Okay? And for decades, the whole LGBT community and the others argued that this is something which is very discriminatory. This has been etched in the constitution. This is something where they argued that this section was discriminatory and provided legal protection for the harassment and intimidation of the gay couples, and for the harassment and their intimidation. Okay, so these are the things, these are their complaints, and that is why they've approached the courts. And then in a landmark judgment, Navtej Singh Johar versus Union of India case, there was something where this section was partially removed, or one section of it which was opposed by the LGBT community has been resolved. One problem has been resolved. Okay, so let's have a look on this. In September 2018, a 5-judge bench of the Supreme Court unanimously means all the 5 judges were on the same page. Okay, unanimously decriminalized the consensual sex between 2 adults irrespective of their gender, and partially struck down the section 377 of the IPC. Now, why it has been written that partially struck the section 377? Because it has been decriminalized, the sexual intercourse between the 2 adults has been decriminalized, but right now also the Supreme Court of India is hearing, it has compiled all the cases which was going under the high courts, and now they are hearing that whether the gay couples or the people from the LGBT community are allowed to marry legally. Okay, and this whole debate is for their legal approval, that they're able to marry legally. It's not only about the marriages, it's also about other things which are associated with the marriage, be it the transfer of property, be it the transfer of insurance policy, be it something like adoption, because in India it is quite difficult nowadays for a community or for a couple to adopt a child who are belonging to this community. Okay, because of some adoption strictness, because in India there's strictness in adoption and all those things. Okay, so that is why it has been said that this section 377 has been partially struck down. Okay, now the court referred to those areas of section that criminalize the consensual unnatural sex as irrational, indefensible, and manifestly arbitrary. Let us see that what these areas are. The court noted that section 377 was used as a weapon, while it has been said that it has been partially struck down, and the LGBT community celebrated the movement the way they wanted. Because the court said that it has been constantly used as a weapon to harass this section 377, because it says that all those people who are having carnal intercourse or something like that, something which is against the nature. And what is nature? If 2 men and 2 women, or someone from the same sex having this thing, then it would be against the nature. So it has been used as a weapon to harass members of LGBT community, resulting in their discrimination. Okay, however, in its ruling, the court also made it clear that the other aspects dealing with unnatural sex with animals and children still remained in the force, and it was confining its order to consenting acts between the 2 adults. Now this thing, all these things that they decriminalize this thing, it has not been considered anything which is happening to the animals or to the children are still considered criminal activity, is still considered criminal activity. Something which is not considered a criminal activity is when the 2 consenting adults are okay with the things. Okay, so, and this is the thing, this is a chart or something like that. You can have an idea that how state the legal action is there was a LGBT crackdown against this community in different sections of the society, in different states of India. In UP there were 999 cases, in Haryana there were 120 cases, 167 in Maharashtra, 207 in Kerala, and 128 in MP. Okay, so there was an act, there was an offensive act, or the state was taking some actions against these peoples. Okay, that is why it has been said that it needs to be removed. Now let us come back to the bill, that why this bill and the exclusion of section 377, what would be its impact and how is it going to impact, why it has been said that it is going to impact the men of the Indian community. Okay, so introduction of the Bhartiya Nyaya Sanhita Bill, BNS Bill 2023, is likely, and it's going to have it would be having its likely implications. I think the word is missing. The IPC section 377 offered protection to non-minor males from the rape. Now this is the thing, because the whole section has been removed and the section has been considered now by the court itself, so now we have to accept whether your views are in the favor of this controversial subject or against it. But the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court of India in this case has assumed that it is something which is against the dignity of those people. So they the whole section was not considered very much good or was considered bad, but there was some parts of the section which was having a good effect on the society. How? It offered protection to the non-minor, it offered protection to the non-minor males from the rape. Now in the proposed BNS bill, this section is gone, and if this section is gone, so the protection against these male people who are going to face, or if they face if any criminal activity like this, there is an attempt of rape over them, then they are going to face some difficulties legally. In IPC section 375, IPC section 375 defines rape and lists 7 notional consent. But now this particular segment is talking about that earlier section 375 of the IPC was containing all the things about the rapes and all that. Now it will be covered under section 63 of the Constitution under the BNS bill if it becomes an act. But the critics have pointed out that if the BNS bill is passed and in its present form, the groups including male victims of sexual assault could lose their legal protection according to them. Because why, we'll discuss this why, but the thing is why the critics are against this, because it has been said that male victims of the sexual assault could lose their legal protection if they have been attempted for the rape. Now it is argued because basically the offense of rape as defined in the proposed BNS bill is gendered. It has been basically said that only all this rape or something like this in BNS bill, it has been said that it will be committed by a man only against a woman. Okay, so it means this proposed bill will say that it can only be committed by a man against a woman. In 2018, when Supreme Court passed its verdict under Navtej Singh Johar case, there were also some gray areas. Police officers and some legal experts were saying that there are some gray areas where the protection of minor males and how can we consider them to be protected, it was not very much clear. But now with the absolute removal of the section 377, that particular aspect which was providing that silver lining or that protection shield to the male community, if suppose there is a situation where two males, consenting males, have a sexual intercourse and one withdraws his consent, then in this case that particular male or that particular person is not having that right that he can go to the police station. He might go to the police station, but he will not be having a legal right against that person. Okay, now this is the problem. As on date, India's law on sexual assault do not recognize men as victims of rape. Today, it is not considered with this bill, and that is why it has been said that under the proposed Bhartiya Nyaya Sanhita Bill 2023, there is no provision made to protect male victims of sexual assault. As I said, that if a particular male withdraws in future withdraws his consent, then he won't be having a protection shield and a legal protection shield for him. Okay, currently the IPC protects the man, woman or animal against such an act of violence, and if the BNS bill is passed in the present form, the men could lose the legal protection according to them. Okay, but that is the reason it has been sent to the standing committee. That is the reason that we all have been discussing it now for the second time, and all the other people, and that is the reason why we all are deliberating and discussing all these topics. So in the very first attempt, it is quite difficult to change from 1860s to now 2023. It is almost more than 150 years, around 170 years, and changing everything absolutely. There would be some loopholes, there would be something which can be corrected. That is why all these discussions and deliberations and scrutinies are going on. So as a vigilant citizen, as a responsible citizen, it's also your responsibility, not only as a UPSC aspirant but as a responsible citizen, that you should be aware of your laws and you should be aware of the things, that something which was governing your country for last 77 years, since it got its independence, and plus 77 years when it was under the British rule. Now some things are going to change. Now the legal process of India is going to change. So as a vigilant citizen, as a responsible citizen, it's also your duty to read about these articles, whether you're preparing or for civil services or not. But you need to be aware for all those things, about all these things. Okay. I hope you like the session. We'll discuss anything about, it's an ongoing topic, and we'll discuss about these things as the things develops and all. But for now, this is it. We'll meet in the next class. Until then, take care.